Dear students, in our previous interactions, we came to know that Dalton's atomic theory suffers from drawbacks. We also understood the drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory in that the major drawback was atoms' indivisibility. Thomson proved from his experiment that an atom is divisible. For this, he conducted discharge of electricity through gases under very low pressure and very high voltage. In doing so, he observed the formation of cathode rays, which are nothing but beams of negatively charged electrons. He also explained the properties of cathode rays. One important property among them was the nature of cathode rays is independent of the material and the gas used. Therefore, the concluding part was electron is there in every matter and it is the same in all atoms. My dear friends, J.J. Thomson's next assignment was to know charge by mass ratio, which is popularly known as E by M ratio of an electron. For this, he had used slightly modified discharge tube which is there on the screen now. E by M ratio of electron by J.J. Thomson, and for this he was given Nobel Prize. This is his modified discharge tube. Cathode, anode, but this side is elongated discharge tube, so that he want to check how cathode rays or the electrons travel under the influence of electric field and the magnetic field. Friends, when there is no electric field and when there is no magnetic field, cathode rays traveled in a straight line and they hit this spot, that is spot B. But when he applies electric field, because cathode rays are made from negatively charged electrons, naturally they are attracted towards the positive plate, so he could notice the hit on the screen on the point A. Now he removed the electric field. He applied the magnetic field by bringing a strong electromagnet, and he noticed that cathode rays are deflected even by the magnetic field, and he saw the deflection this side. So the spot was seen on the point C. Now both fields are there here. Okay, when he applies both the fields in the presence of only electric field, the spot was cathode ray spot was or the electronic spot was on A. In the presence of only magnetic field, the cathode rays or the electronic spot was on this point C. When he adjusted the magnitude of electric field and the magnetic field in such a way that he brought the spot of electrons on the B, which was the original spot. That means by adjusting the magnitude of electric field and the magnetic field and electric field, he brought the deflection back to normal. Now this is the theory part. Let us not go detail into the derivation part of this experiment and the mathematical part of this experiment. So this part is not there for us. So by careful adjusting the electric field and the magnetic field and also the charge which is there on the electron, so he measured the E by M ratio for an electron. That we will see now one by one. J.J. Thomson subjected a beam of cathode rays to see the effects of electric and magnetic fields as shown in figure. Point number second. In the beginning, in absence of any electric or magnetic field, the electrons from cathode rays struck the fluorescent screen at B. This also I told. Then, under the effect of electric field, they strike at point A because of the attraction. Unlike charges attract each other. Similarly, they strike at point C under the influence of magnetic field. So that I told here. Okay, C. Now, electric and magnetic fields were adjusted in such a way that the electron again strike at point B. This he has done with some mathematics help and the physics help, which is beyond of this 11th class textbook. In this way, by careful adjusting both electric field and the magnetic field, he calculated the E by M value. So the E by M value, according to J.J. Thomson, is found to be 1.7588 into 10 to the power 11 coulombs per kilogram. That means if you take 1 kilogram of electrons, okay, they have the charge equal to 1.7588 into 10 to the power of 11 coulombs. So this is the beautiful experiment by J.J. Thomson to know E by M ratio. Next, we will go to one more interesting experiment where here also we understand only theory part but not the derivation part. This is experiment to calculate to know charge on the electron, and this is done by Robert A. Millikan, and for this also he got Nobel Prize because all these works are very excellent works in the field of science between 1800 and the 1900. This is the method by R.A. Millikan, and this method is known as oil drop experiment because here oil was dropping in the chamber, so the name is given oil drop experiment. Please see. This is called oil atomizer. Atomizer means what? It is like normal perfume. When we press the knob, nozzle of a perfume, spray comes out in the form of droplets, like that. A very special kind of atomizer was used so that the oil was like a perfume made small droplets, and here are the small droplets of the oil by the oil atomizer. This is the first part of the chamber. So they start moving here, okay, due to gravity, so they will come here. Now what he has made a small hole. What is the purpose of making a small hole? The purpose is here the oil droplets are moving randomly in a zigzag pattern, but his aim was to make the oil droplets move in one particular direction, in one particular movement. How in the traffic, when there is no barricades, we move randomly. When on the highways 3 to 5 barricades are kept, we have to move in a particular direction and a particular angle, so a particular path is followed. In the same way, Millikan made a small hole here so that oil droplets fall one by one or two by two, which depend upon the size of the hole, into this chamber, next chamber, where this area is connected by two electrodes, positive electrode and the negative electrode, out using the outside electric source. Now when he makes a hole here, now next what, the oil drops slowly starts coming in this area. Right, now they fall due to the gravity. The movement of the oil is noticed by the Millikan using a telescope here fitted with eyepiece. So using the eyepiece and telescope, he could notice easily the movement of the oil drops, right, and the mass of the oil by using some mathematics and the physics. Now simultaneously using X-rays, he ionized the gas present in this area. Here in this area, small amount of gas was there. Remember friends, cathode rays and the X-rays, they have the ability to ionize the gas. What do you mean by ionization of gas? It means when the cathode rays or X-rays interact with gas or the air, so air undergoes ionization. That means electrons are knocked out from the metallic surface or from the clutch, from the control of the nucleus, thereby electrons are made free. If you compare the ability or the capacity of cathode rays and the X-rays, X-rays are more powerful. That we are going to learn in the next discussion, where we learn different types of electromagnetic radiations. So X-rays are the rays which are got very short wavelength. That means they are very powerful and penetrating radiations. So he had used the X-rays. So using X-rays, he ionized the gas, thereby making electrons free. And these electrons, they stick to the oil drop. That means now oil drops are charged by electron. Okay. So they started moving towards the positive electrode. Why? Because earlier oil was not charged. Now the oil is charged. If it is charged by the positive, it will go down. But the oil drop which was charged by the electron due to the collision in this area, they started moving towards the positive electrode. Now what Robert Millikan made, by controlling the electric field voltage and by controlling the gravitational force, so he maintained the speed of the oil charged oil droplet in such a way that the oil drop totally became static. That means it was not allowed to move. Then after some mathematics help, he could measure the charge on the drop. But he found very interesting fact that every oil drop was having some charge. But the charge was integral multiple of E. What is E? Here E is the charge. That means if one droplet was having 2 electrons, it was having 2E. If the small droplet having only one drop, it was having 1E. If there is a droplet which is bigger in size, so if there are 3 electrons on that droplet, it was given the reading as a 3E. That means the charge was coming out in terms of integral multiple of E. That means charge on the oil drop equal to integral multiple of E, that he has told. So now we will see the theory part of the Millikan. Oil droplets in the form of mist were allowed to enter the chamber through a fine hole, all that I explained. This one, okay. Now this is the value. You see the statement given by the Robert Millikan. Millikan concluded that the magnitude of the electric charge Q on the droplets is always an integral multiple of the electrical charge E. Therefore, he made Q equal to Ne, where N equal to 1, 2, 3. Depend upon how many electrons sat on the oil droplet, it was given the reading. So, in this way, he took the value for the charge, which comes out to be 1.6022 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs, and this negative sign indicates negative charge. So it is taken as minus 1.6022 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs, using the charge value, okay, by the Millikan. Using the E by M value from the Thomson, he calculated the mass of electron, which comes out to be 9.1094 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram, which is very small, but it is there. And one more point he concluded, what? J. Thomson proved that on changing the electrode and the gas, the value of E by M was the constant or the same. This is the second proof that electron is independent and universal. That means E by M value for an electron is independent of nature of cathode and the gas. Therefore, electron is the universal particle of all matter. Second support to the Thomson from this experiment.